There's already 3 feet of snow near Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, with more still to come. The Bills canceled practice today. They'll travel to Detroit tomorrow for their game with the Browns on Sunday. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson not at practice today with an illness, but should be ready to go Sunday against the Panthers. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, however, may be ready to go out of the playoff picture. Losing to the Titans last night didn't help. ESPN's Sam Acho.
That was probably the game they needed if they wanted to make a playoff run. 6 more games. If you want to make the playoffs, you probably got to win all 6 of them, and it's not looking good, not only for him, but for that entire team.
Sam Acho on Greeny. Steelers safety Minkah Fitzpatrick is ready to play against the Bengals on Sunday, just a week after having an appendectomy. Chiefs wideout Juju Smith-Schuster is out for Sunday night's game against the Chargers. He's in the concussion protocol now after taking a hit last week against the Jaguars.
Halloween is over, but hiring is still a bit scary? Indeed's end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
If you having take problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but Chris ain't one. Hit me.
This is Canty and Carlin.
The birthday boy Nuno was just asking during the break if I had ever gotten kicked out of a place. I only got tossed once. As it turned out, it was a case of mistaken identity. I thought that it was with the drummer of a popular 90s band, the Spin Doctors.
Okay.
I told this story. I think I told the story on the air with you. The drummer of the band called in and said, I never got in a fight with you. I don't know who it is.
Really?
Turns out it was a roadie. And it wasn't a fight. He came over and took my beer. He says, that's my beer because I'm with the band.
So he took your beer, then he shoved you.
Yeah, and then I
don't know. Something sounds fishy about this story. Right.
Hang on.
Now from the ESPN studios in New York City, this is Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio. Plus, listen and watch on the ESPN app.
All I can tell you is what I saw from the Green Bay Packers last night was an utter disgrace, and the season's over.
But it wasn't a surprise.
No.
It
was all of the above.
It was anticipated.
Yet completely ready to see
Everybody was ready to jump back on the bandwagon after they had that win against the Cowboys. And what do we say, Carlin? That's an outlier.
Yep.
The Cowboys just didn't come back from their bye week. Green Bay caught them at the right spot. But this is not Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers getting the season turned around. And the Tennessee Titans put that to bed on a short week when they rolled into Lambeau on a Thursday night game where it was snowing, Carlin, and flat out bullied the Packers.
Pushed them around like it was nothing. Canty and Carlin, ESPN Radio. And on the ESPN app, we are presented by Progressive Insurance. We are thrilled to have you with us. And look, it's funny. We'll get to the Packers side of this and what this actually means with Aaron Rodgers in a minute. But as bizarre as this sentence is going to sound, it's actually legitimate when you think about the season in a whole and what's gone on with the Titans later in the year. The Tennessee Titans could be the number 1 seed in the AFC again.
Yes.
And yet, it does nothing to change our outlook upon their season or their playoff possibilities. Accurate?
That is fair.
It's amazing that that's the case.
Well, the reason why we point to that is because of the quarterback, right? When you think about the quarterbacks in the AFC, you have Josh Allen, you have Tua, you have Lamar Jackson, you have Joe Burrow, you have Pat Mahomes, and then whether or not the Chargers and Justin Herbert gets in, that's a sidebar. But think about all of those great young quarterbacks, and then you look at the Tennessee Titans, and you say, Ryan Tannehill?
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Tannehill? Now, if you get the version of Ryan Tannehill that we saw last night, then all of a sudden you feel better about him. But I can't help but think about how their season ended last year, where they beat Joe Burrow to sleep in that wild card game, and yet the story coming out of that game was Ryan Tannehill on his first pass of the game throwing a pick, on the first pass of the second half throwing a pick, and on the last pass of the game throwing a pick. That's what I remember about that game in the divisional round.
Making a statement.
That's what I remember. and so why should we have any degree of confidence in Ryan Tannehill once we get to the second season? I don't. Now, I like the Tennessee Titans because they're well coached. They're a physical team. Their front seven can stop the run and get after the quarterback. The thing that we believe will hold them back is the disparity in quarterback play in comparison to the other teams that we're anticipating being in the AFC playoff field.
If you're curious, they're 7-3 right now. They have Cincinnati at home, followed by a trip to Philadelphia, and that is going to be
That's going to be a fun one. I'm telling you, everybody's going to be in the cold tub after that game in Philly.
That could be a game. I don't know where the specifics are on all of it, in terms of how many times, who's been in prime time, how many times, all that.
That's a game I want Flex to be in at night.
I
want to see that game at night.
That's right now.
That
that's a 1 o'clock
to be
game.
a standalone. Yeah.
That is a 1 o'clock game on December 4th right now. We want that to be a Sunday night game. You got Jacksonville, then a trip to L.A. to take on the Chargers, then Houston, followed by Dallas, and another trip to Jacksonville. So you got the Jaguars twice down the stretch. There are some tough games in here, Chris, but I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be winning the division once again. And if I look at that stretch, can they get to, what's it going to take to be the number one seed in the AFC? Is it going to take 12?
I think it'll take 12, maybe 13 wins.
Can you see that out of those 7 games? Cincinnati at Philly.
You've got to get 5 wins.
Let me run it through you again. Cincinnati at Philly, Jacksonville at L.A., the Chargers, Houston, Dallas at Jacksonville.
Okay, so you've got – all right, I'm just sitting here looking at it, Carl, and you've got 4 teams with winning records that you have to play on your schedule.
Right.
Can you split those 4 games?
Yes.
Okay, so you got give those 2 games. Okay, and then you're asking them to beat Jacksonville, Houston, and then Jacksonville for their regular season finale.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get to 12 wins.
You can get there.
You can get to 12 wins.
You can't tell me they can't beat the Chargers.
You can get to 12 wins.
Yep.
You can get to 12 wins.
I think it's so interesting, especially considering it does absolutely nothing to change our minds about what that means in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now, Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app on Sirius XM Channel 80. On the flip side, you can tell me whatever you want. I believed a few weeks ago, and I continue to believe now, that at some point within the next 2 to 3 weeks at the latest, we are going to have some Jordan Love discussions about him getting an opportunity to play for the Green Bay Packers, because I understand all of the contract machinations that are involved. I have a feeling that Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are both going to be wanting a divorce after this season.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And we had Jeremy Fowler on earlier, and he was saying that it seems highly unlikely, it's implausible for them to move on from Aaron Rodgers, even if they wanted to. But, Carlin, you and I don't see it that way.
No.
And when you look at the contract breakdown, if they cut Aaron Rodgers, it's a $99 million dead cap hit before June 1. They're not going to cut him, okay? Let's admit that. The guy's the back-to-back MVP. If they traded Aaron Rodgers before June 1st of next year, it would be a $75 million cap hit.
They're not doing that.
They're not doing that. If they traded Aaron Rodgers after June 1st, it ends up being a $15 million cap hit in 2023, which is palatable, and then another $24 million cap hit in 2024. So if you're a franchise that's looking to reset and move on and play a young quarterback, that would be the direction that you go. Now, could you get value for Aaron Rodgers if you traded him? That depends on if Aaron Rodgers wants to play for another team, because this could be a guy that decides he wants to shut it down. Those are the things that we don't have answers to, but I have a hard time seeing how the Packers move forward with Aaron Rodgers, given the friction that we've seen play out between him and Matt LaFleur.
I don't see it. I don't know how it could. And, all right, maybe they'll go fire the coach, and they'll go get another coach. But
do we think the coach is the problem in Green Bay?
Absolutely
Matt
not.
LaFleur is a fine head coach.
Yeah.
He's had 13 wins each of the first 3 seasons he's been there. He's a fine head coach. Why would you fire him?
Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely not the problem. So, I'm looking at teams next year that have salary cap space to try to make something work, and it's very tricky. It's very tricky to find a place that Aaron Rodgers is going to want to go play and that they can afford to do it. Now,
Pittsburgh?
They only have $19 million right now. You can do a lot of things to make the cap work.
You sure can.
Pittsburgh is a place.
Yep.
The other place that was rumored, Las Vegas.
I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, here's the point.
They've got draft picks.
Here's the point. this whole dynamic between the Packers and Rodgers, it's not changing anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you run it back again and you don't have a big-time receiver or Watson becomes that, okay. But if you run it back again, I don't think the results are going to be a whole lot different.
Yeah.
This is something that you just, hey, we gave him the contract. We screwed up. We needed to move on, and we didn't do it because we thought we still had a chance, and it is an iconic player in our organization.
Well, here's the thing that folks have got to understand. There's never a good way or an easy way to move on from a legendary quarterback. It's always messy, right, Carlos?
Yes.
Think about it with your team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Think about it with the New York Giants at the end of it with Eli Manning. Or think about when the Indianapolis Colts moved on from Peyton Manning. It's never easy transitioning away from a legend. Hell, even Tom Brady with the Patriots.
Yeah.
Think about how nasty that was.
Guys,
so it's never going to be seamless. It's never going to be like that. So if you're Green Bay, you have to assess where your franchise is at. And although we're seeing some issues on offense because you got a lot of young players that you're relying on to be contributors, that doesn't explain why your defense is so bad.
No.
Carlin, count them. You got 8 first-round draft picks on that defense. 8. And you can't stop a nosebleed. Ryan Tannehill looked like the second coming of Joe Montana last night.
Especially out play action.
Carlin, you can't do it. So you can't sell me that this is going to be a championship contender anytime soon. And if you're not going to be competing at that level, what sense does it make to pay a quarterback $50 million a year?
It doesn't. It doesn't. And you just have to suck it up and move on. And here's the thing. Don't be afraid to just rip off the Band-Aid and deal with the sting for a little bit.
Yeah.
People are going to be unhappy. Like you said, it's never going to be clean. Any breakup never ends clean.
Carlin, they started to do the right thing when they drafted Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Maybe this wasn't the right player, but it was the right idea. They started to do the right thing, and then they backed off of it.
Canty and Carlin, ESPN Radio, and on the ESPN app. Presented by Progressive Insurance. Insurance for motorcycles, boats, RVs, for protections on the road, for protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and at Progressive.com. Up next, moving forward here in the second half of the season, there are some quarterbacks that have an immense amount of pressure on them headed toward the postseason for the need to win, not just for their legacies, but also for their financial futures. Canty has the indisputable list in just moments. Canty and Carlin, ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Greeny, and it's a fabulous football weekend with so many implications on the college gridiron and one of the best schedules of the season in the NFL. We'll be the place to talk about it all Monday. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Football season is underway, so now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Just sign up with promo code PLAY. FanDuel has all your favorite bets from the money line to point spreads to player props. So sign up today with promo code PLAY for your no-sweat first bet. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, and Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP Louisiana. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee. 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia.
What does the Apple Dumpling Restaurant offer?
The Apple Dumpling serves up homemade favorites, fried chicken, sandwiches, delicious chicken and noodles, beef and noodles, and meatloaf as comfort food.
And, of course, the Apple Dumpling with a scoop of ice cream, perhaps.
Visit this community treasure if you're looking for great people, great atmosphere, and great food in Urbana.
The Apple Dumpling Restaurant.
Open Tuesdays through Saturdays with a lunch buffet on Sundays.
On High Cross Road in Urbana.
You can look up the Apple Dumpling on Facebook.
If you need insurance, you gotta go to Insurance Providers Group. They can help you like they've helped me. Hi, it's Jay Lehman. Insurance Providers Group can get you a quote on all aspects of personal, business, agricultural, life, and health insurance and employee benefits. They represent many insurance companies that allow them to provide you with the most competitive rates and the best coverage. Call Kyle Lewis at 217-352-7080 or email Kyle at ipgins.com or go to the website for a quote at ipgins.com.
There is one name you need to know in car repair in the Central Illinois area, and that's John Marshall. John is the owner of PDR Automotive in Urbana and makes it his mission to know that your car will start when you come to pick it up. John strives for a repair in the most efficient time possible and is the right person to take care of your car. From tires to engine to electrical to the simple oil change. Trust in John at PDR. 1008 North Cunningham in Urbana. John's team will take care of you like family.
These days, you don't mind staying up a little late or waiting in line. These days, button-downs turn into t-shirts, and dinner consists of popcorn and a pretzel. These days are about singing and yelling and jumping. These days are game days. Game Day Spirit, where Fighting Illini fans shop.
Congratulations to Sarah Champagne. Sarah Honda has won the President's Award. This is an award recognizing the best Honda dealerships in America. Sarah Honda has achieved excellence in sales, service, and customer satisfaction. When you go into Sarah Champagne, you'll see what winning the Honda President's Award means with their outstanding focus on you. Visit Sarah Champagne and experience excellence with not only Honda, but GMC, Buick, BMW, and Subaru. Sarah Champagne, off Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands, owner of Lands Inc. Your heating and cooling system works hard for you all year long to keep you and your family comfortable. That's why it's important to have it maintained and serviced regularly. Our techs are ready to help you with all your indoor air quality, humidity, and filtration needs. Visit landsinc.com today for specials on a brand new train system for your home and to see for yourself why it's hard to stop a train. At Lands Inc., our commitment is to you, the customer. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
Carpet Weavers is flooring their customers. They work with the biggest brands to bring you the best selections and prices on hardwood, luxury tile, carpet, and more. Stop in at 616 West Market View Drive in Champaign and let one of their sales associates help you find the perfect flooring for your lifestyle. Their 100% satisfaction guarantee allows you to be confident in your purchase. Carpet Weavers has been flooring people with beautiful carpet and flooring since 1988. In fact, they're nationally ranked as one of the top 25 specialty flooring stores in the country. Find out more online at carpetweaversflooring.com.
It's a totally Christmas winter wonderland at Prairie Gardens. Ornaments, decor, wreaths, garlands, and so much more, all ready now, along with brand new savings. This week, save 50% off all Christmas bushes. Select large Christmas candle jars are $6.97. All furniture, save 10%. Plus, find your perfect artificial Christmas tree with the largest selection around and very best tree guarantee at Prairie Gardens, your Christmas destination for over 50 years.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Georgia B. Catch my boys Lante and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 on The Drive. Boom, boom, brr.
Oh, yeah. You got to love that music, don't you, Carlin? That good old NFL music.
Ramp it up.
Let's go. Let's go. Now, Carlin, usually in the second half of the season, this is where you separate the pretenders from the contenders. But I think we also got to separate some guys that might not be under pressure with some guys that are feeling a little bit of the pressure. So maybe some guys that have surprised us in a positive way, but then some guys that could potentially be under duress as we get closer to the playoffs.
You know what this sounds like to me?
What does it sound like?
A bonus Who's Number One.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Kenny and Carlin having a Friday Who's Number One?
Each week, only one team can top Canty's NFL Power Rankings.
Number one. Who's number one?
Find out now. It's Who's Number One.
All right, so before we kick off the official list that's going to go 5 through 1, we got to go through the honorable mentions right now.
So this is the top quarterbacks with the most pressure on them.
No doubt about it. Top quarterbacks with the most pressure. Here's the honorable mention. Russell Wilson. Could we assume that there might be a little bit of buyer's remorse with the Denver Broncos? With the contract that they gave Russell Wilson?
I'll assume.
Okay, so he's honorable mention. Ryan Tannehill.
I think there's real pressure on Ryan Tannehill to win now when he's already got his successor in place if he's looking for another contract. I think that's legit.
It looked great last night, but again, he was out of the lineup a couple of weeks, and it didn't feel like his team missed the beat, even though they lost in overtime to Kansas City. No shame in that.
Malik Willis is there. He's there.
He's there. And then you have Tua.
Look, for every person in South Florida and all across the country who's been a Miami Dolphins fan, who has been lighting up our Twitter, you have put all the pressure on Tua. And there is no doubt there is a ton of it. Because if he gets into the playoffs and has that first bad game,
here's what I'm going to say, Carlin. If he doesn't win the division at this point, don't we have to start looking at Tua sideways? I'm just going to leave that right there. Don't get at me on Twitter, because Twitter ain't going to be around that long.
Exactly. You do? We may not see it.
Exactly. So, all right, let's kick off the list. Let's move through it.
Number 5.
Lamar Jackson. Nothing motivates a player like fresh cash, and Lamar Jackson is in a contract year. He bet on himself. He turned down a deal from the Baltimore Ravens that was reported to pay him around the $40 million a year range in average annual value. This guy is going after a huge payday. I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar Jackson is the highest paid player at the end of this thing in the entire NFL. But in order to be that guy, Carlin, he's going to have a hell of a second half. Now, he's top 5 in QBR, and he's accounted for 18 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. So it's a pretty good start, even by his standards. But he's got to have the team success in the second half and once we get into the playoffs.
Totally agree.
Number 4.
Zach Wilson. Carlin, I don't know why I feel this way, but the Jets are winning games in spite of Zach Wilson and not because of him. And then when you look at that and juxtapose it on what we're seeing from Justin Fields, it makes you feel like Joe Douglas, the general manager from the Jets, made the wrong call in the 2021 draft. Could you imagine what the New York Jets ceiling would be in 2022 if Justin Fields was under the center and not Zach Wilson? Zach Wilson is going to be under a lot of pressure right now. It feels like the playoffs are right there for the Jets. Could you imagine a world where they don't make the playoffs? The only way it happens is if Zach Wilson falls on his face.
Number 3.
Derek Carr. Carlin, we got the word from Mark Davis, the owner from the Vegas Raiders. Josh McDaniels is safe. Is Derek Carr safe? Nah, the Las Vegas Raiders can get out of there for a minimal cap hit in 2023. I know they just gave him the contract. It doesn't matter. We've already talked about how you can manipulate the cap. And if you consider right now the Raiders, who would have a top 3 draft choice if the season ended today, it could be a spot where Josh McDaniels decides to push the reset button on the entire franchise, and that includes the quarterback. So Derek Carr, a lot of show improved in the second half of this year.
Number 2.
Josh Allen. Carlin, when are the turnovers going to start? 13 turnovers this season. 13 of them. Over the last 2 years, Carlin, in one-score games, the Buffalo Bills are 2-8. In those games, Josh Allen, 18 touchdowns to 15 turnovers. When you peel back the layers and look at this thing, man, this guy's got a turnover problem. 18 turnovers last year, on pace for 24 turnovers this year. The only Pro Bowl level season that this dude has had was 2020. I'm just saying, Carlin, it feels like there's a lot of mounting pressure on Josh Allen. This team was picked by Vegas to be the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl. If they don't win their division, and they're scrapping to just try to get a wild card to get into the playoffs in the second half, that's going to reflect poorly on Josh Allen. A lot of pressure on him.
Number 1.
There can only be one top spot, and that belongs to the guy with the star on his helmet down in Dallas, Dak Prescott. Is there a quarterback that's under more pressure than Dak?
No.
After seeing what we saw from Cooper Rush, 4-1 in the 5 starts that he had, the Cowboys were rolling along. Dak Prescott steps in, and yeah, the team is winning games, but coming out of the bye week, they stubbed their toe on the Green Bay Packers, and Dak has 2 interceptions in the first half of that game. Carlin, I'm not saying he's the reason why they lost in Green Bay, but he certainly didn't help matters. And for a guy that's making $40 million a year, there's going to be a lot of pressure on him to deliver.
Okay.
That's the list.
I got 2 for you.
All right.
Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has got a decent amount of pressure on him. He is in a position this year where that team is 8-1. They have gone out. They have added Ndamukong Suh. They have added Linval Joseph to take care or at least assist their stopping the run problems. They are in position to win right now, and Jalen Hurts is going to be in a contract year here very shortly. As much as he has proven himself so far, that needs to continue. You can't have a fall off like Pittsburgh did a few years ago when they started 11-0 and then went in the tank.
Well, here's the thing. Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken, still won their division. They ended up getting bounced by the Cleveland Browns in the wild card round. But is there something that Jalen Hurts can do that would mean that he wouldn't be the starting quarterback next year for the Eagles? Because I kind of feel like that's the bar for him coming into this season.
Well, but it's not about just being the quarterback for the Eagles next year. It's about the long-term deal and getting that done now.
That's right, because he is a second-round draft pick. There is no fifth-year option.
Exactly. And the last one, and this is an odd one, he's already made a ton of money, but considering where they are, expectations are rising for Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
People have tied together the words Kirk Cousins and the letters MVP. They have actually done that this week. I'm not saying it was us, but people have done that this week. And I got to tell you, the Vikings at 8-1 are in a constant position of proving themselves.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that is on Cousins because all the knock over the years was big game or in prime time, he's gonna absolutely tank. There's some pressure on Kirk Cousins this year.
Carlin, I will say this, looking at their remaining schedule, the last 8 games, 5 of them are at home, Carlin. And if you consider this as well, in the month of December, they've got the New York Jets at home, on the road against the Lions, at home against the Colts and the Giants, on the road against the Packers and the Bears. It's not exactly murderer's row on that schedule.
Oh my God! Did Kevin O'Connell make the schedule?
They're gonna have the division wrapped up on Turkey Day.
Wow.
They're going to have that's going to happen. If they win on Sunday, they will have the division wrapped up on Turkey Day.
Canty and Carlin, ESPN Radio, and on the ESPN app, there is a huge college football matchup this weekend, and we are going to cover it and bring in one of the great college football writers in this country in just moments and find out who also has the potential to play spoiler for the college football playoff. It is on the way in just moments. Tune in. We've got a doubleheader on Sunday in the NFL. The Colts hosting the Eagles, followed by the Raiders and the Broncos in Denver. Coverage begins noon Eastern on select ESPN radio stations. Stay with us, Canty and Carlin, ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Keyshawn Johnson from Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. They told us we could give away anything we choose. So, we're giving away cash.
You want to talk about money?
We're giving away $10,000 a day. And all you have to do is listen to us for a chance to win.
Your chance to win. Weekday mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
With other lenders, it can feel like they're calling the wrong plays, not Cross Country Mortgage. They're the masterminds behind perfect play calling. Go with them and your home loan experience will end in a victory parade in your new neighborhood. You're the perfect free agent to sign with the best loan originators in the game, and Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done. Reach out today at ccm.com. That's ccm.com.
Equal housing opportunity. All loans subject to underwriting approval. Cross Country Mortgage LLC. NMLS 3029. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Need a little good news in your life? State Farm has new lower car insurance rates in Illinois, so you can now get the service and convenience of State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow at an even better price. That's right, State Farm can help you save more cash and get the good neighbor service you deserve. It's the real deal for car insurance. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is ready to help you save in Champaign-Urbana. Call Kurt today at 352-1411. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, this is Ben Grice at the Humble Hog in downtown Paxton. And if you haven't been up to Paxton for our barbecue yet, let me tell you, you don't need a reservation. Just come on up. Barbecue with us is about as casual can get. We've got all your favorites. We're talking brisket, pork, amazing smoked turkey, our sausage. And while you're there, be sure to try the Paxton Punch. You can thank me on that later. Check us out online at humblehogbbq.com.
Immerse yourself and your family in the excitement of the holiday season. Join us for the 27th Annual Festival of Trees, presented by the Junior League of Champaign-Urbana on November 19th and 20th at the Hilton Garden Inn in Champaign. You can enjoy the beautifully decorated trees and wreaths for holiday inspiration or bid to win. We'll also be hosting Storytime with Santa and Mrs. Claus on Saturday, November 19th at 9 a.m. Tickets are $15 per child. And if that's not enough, we'll be doing holiday photos with Kristen Darling Photography at the Hilton Garden Inn on Saturday, November 19th from 10 to 2 p.m. and Sunday, November 20th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for only $20. There's something for everyone. All proceeds raised support our community-based projects and grant programs that go directly back into the Champaign-Urbana local community. Check out festivalofTreesCU.com for more information.
PDR Automotive in Urbana has been providing quality auto repair service for almost 50 years. Trusted by AAA Motor Club, PDR employs ASE certified technicians that use the latest in diagnostic equipment. They offer nationwide warranties and are even authorized to perform vehicle maintenance that won't void your factory warranty. Check them out 24/7 online at pdrauto.com. When you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481. They are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Hey, could you tell me what aisle your car batteries are in?
Sure, I'll go grab one for you. Here's your battery. It might be expired, but oh well. Also, the brand isn't that great, but it should work for at least a year or two, maybe. Anyways, I went ahead and charged you for it, and here's the battery. Okay, have a great day.
What just happened?
Sometimes good things are hard to find, but they're worth the wait. Make the trip out to Interstate All Battery Center at 2504 North Mattis Avenue and get all of your battery needs taken care of by the trusted professionals. Give them a call today at 355-4855.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back to Trucker Lives Matter, presented by Gail Fredericks Trucking. Today, we have a special guest, Donna, the operations manager at GFT. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Dixie. Thank you for having me.
Tell me, Donna, what's so special about driving for GFT?
First and foremost, our drivers truly matter. They get top pay plus opportunities for monthly bonuses, every weekend at home, paid holidays and vacations, and they are pre-dispatched so they aren't wasting time waiting on us.
Oh, girl, I love money. Tell me more about the pay.
We pay on percentage, so our rate increases have meant our driver pay has actually exceeded inflation. Our van drivers have averaged 78 cents per mile this year, and our flatbedders have seen 82 to 85 cents per mile on average.
Donna, tell our trucking audience how they can get on with GFT.
Our openings are limited, but professional drivers can call 765-793-7131 or email dixie@gftlog.com.
There you have it, drivers. Call 765-793-7131 today.
Hey, Illini fans, it's your girl, Chineo Gumake. Catch Lante and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Bills canceled practice today with the snow piling up in and around Buffalo. The team will leave for Detroit tomorrow, where they'll play the Browns on Sunday. Cleveland cornerback Greg Newsome is out of that game after suffering a concussion during today's practice. Bengals defensive lineman DJ Reader will play against the Steelers Sunday. He's been out since week 3 with a left knee injury. Tomorrow, third-ranked and unbeaten Michigan hosts Illinois in the Big House. Wolverines running back Blake Corum says he hasn't been all that impressed by what his team has done so far.
You know, we worked our tails off to be in this position, right? And so, you know, I'm not impressed just because this is what I expected. You know, I expected this from my team. I expected this from the coaches. And, you know, when you put in work, you know you're going to get good results.
Blake Corum, you can hear more of that interview on our ESPN radio coverage of Michigan and Illinois starting at 11:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. The game also on ABC TV. Longtime Oakland A's executive Billy Beane will become a senior advisor to owner John
Temperature's
Fisher.
getting low, but demand remains high? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
And I try to warn you not to test, but you don't listen. Giving a shout out to my Uncle Donnell.
I tell you what, you got to hand it to Taylor Swift. I mean, she's going to take down Ticketmaster and has the Justice Department involved so quick.
Yeah, Taylor Swift does numbers now. She does numbers.
I have not,
whether or not you're a fan of her music does not matter.
No.
There is a mob of people that love Taylor Swift. Love her.
I absolutely love her. And what's going on this week with Ticketmaster? I can't get it off my timeline.
It's wild, isn't it?
It is insane. And I'm not even a Swiftie. I like some songs.
I couldn't name you a Taylor Swift song.
22? No?
No. I mean, I know some of the lyrics. If you start singing it, I would know the song, but I couldn't tell you the actual name of the song.
The 10-minute song, All Too Well, is excellent. Here's the thing about Taylor Swift. If you dated her at any point, you're going to have a song written about you in the aftermath.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's just... And I
so
look
only
back.
If it doesn't work out will she write the song
Exactly.
about you. She's not going to write it while she's with you.
So I went back and looked. She dated Jake Gyllenhaal for 3 months.
Really?
She wrote a 10-minute song about it.
3 months?
Yes.
I didn't know he was that impactful. Well, I didn't know you could be that impactful in 3 months.
Apparently so.
Oh, okay.
Canty and Carlin, ESPN Radio, and on the ESPN app. Little known fact that Pete Thamel, huge Swiftie, huge. He is in Bozeman, Montana, ESPN senior college football writer when he has not been spending his time on Ticketmaster this week trying to get tickets.
I wonder if Taylor Swift is big in Bozeman, Montana.
I would think so.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Pete.
The mountains are big in Bozeman, Montana. My sources can confirm that. In terms of detailed Swiftiness, you probably didn't come to the right place for between that. My 8-month-old likes Elmo, so we're in a pretty good Elmo groove. That's about where my pop culture begins and ends these days.
This is why I'm not an investigative reporter like you, Pete, in any way, because my sources were dead wrong on that. You're in Bozeman for College Game Day tomorrow. First of all, what is the atmosphere going to be like out there? What is your early read on it out there?
So my prediction on the atmosphere is that it will be cold. And it will be drunk because you would have to be drunk enough to go voluntarily be this cold. I'm joking, but it was -4 this morning when I left the hotel for the game day offices here, and I did a This Just In hit. It was warmer than -4, but it was not much warmer than -4. So it's cold, but that's the way they like it here in the Brawl of the Wild, 121st. Meeting between these two schools. So you can brew up a lot of hatred in 121 meetings, and they do not like each other. So we're fired up to be here. The town is fired up to have game day here. So it will be the single best backdrop that game day has ever had. I went out to the set today. There's mountains in the back. I put some stuff on my social media. Bozeman is aesthetically one of the most beautiful places in America. I mean, it is absolutely stunning, and I think it's going to make for a great backdrop and some great TV tomorrow. So we're giddy up, and the crowd will be. I mean, this is like a 72-degree day in LA for them to deal with 0 degrees tomorrow. So they're fired up.
Pete, you are setting a high bar. I can't wait to watch game day tomorrow. I also can't wait to tune into a rivalry game that's out west between Pac-12 teams, Southern Cal and Oregon. What's the thing that you're looking for in this big-time matchup between two teams that are college football playoff hopefuls?
So USC plays UCLA, Oregon plays Utah. Both are college football contenders. I'm excited about both those games. I think they have limited playoff implications, but there are still playoff implications. I think the Pac-12 camp is going to have an outside shot to make some noise. USC probably has the best chance. If USC wins its next 3 games, they will be the 3 best wins they've had all year. Mm-hmm. And in the most difficult game they've had this year, they lost at Utah, and then against Oregon State, they had to hold on one of those push deals to survive in the fourth quarter. They won 17-14 in Corvallis. So It will be the USC defense has been flawed and fraught all year. And we're going to see over the next couple games, because UCLA can certainly move the ball. Dorian Thompson-Robinson can move the ball. Chip Kelly obviously knows how to call a play. He's been doing that since he was at New Hampshire and beat Carlin's Mighty Scarlet Knights.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Figured I'd drop that in there. Hopefully Coach Shiano's listening. I'm sure he has a fond memory for him. UCLA is a really, really strong offensive team. That game is going to be nuts. It's going to be 55-54. I mean, it will be absolute mayhem because neither team can stop anybody. And then, the Ducks will be interesting. Bo Nix is going to be a game-time decision after obviously injuring his ankle in a pivotal moment last week. And I really think stylistically, if you remember, Utah absolutely ragdolled Oregon twice last year. I mean, they absolutely physically mauled them to the point where the game is over at halftime in two different matchups. So it will be interesting to see how Oregon responds and if they can potentially maybe have to do it with a backup quarterback.
Pete Thamel, ESPN college football writer, joining Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio. Hey, Pete, what does it look like right now for the scenario to play out where there would actually be two Big Ten teams in the college football playoff?
I think the best chance for that happening, Chris, is if Michigan beats Ohio State. Michigan's out-of-conference schedule, which they willfully, set up by bailing out of the UCLA series, and they also got out of the Virginia Tech series a couple years ago, has set themselves up for criticism where they're going to have some vulnerabilities as a one-loss team because they just simply don't have the caliber of victories if they lose. Ohio State does have that Notre Dame win, which looked great at the time when Notre Dame was top 5, didn't look great for a month or two, and now starting to look better as Notre Dame plays well and I believe is back in the top 20 of the CFP rankings. So I think Ohio State would have a better chance to stick around in the top 4 if they lost than Michigan.
Pete, great stuff. We appreciate it. Stay warm-ish, just for that comment about New Hampshire that I had forgotten. It's 18 years ago, Pete. Can we let it go?
I know you weren't paying attention to the crowd. You're hitting refresh on Ticketmaster to get your Swift tickets.
Nice, Pete.
Pete, if I show up at the Taylor Swift concert, generally speaking, there are probably going to be cops around me somewhere just suspecting that I don't belong there. Thanks, Pete.
That's good. Cheers, guys. Have a good
Pete
weekend.
Thamel, ESPN college football
He's the
writer.
best, isn't he?
He's awesome.
He's the best.
He's absolutely awesome. I am very interested in these Pac-12 games.
Yeah.
I will be locked in on these Pac-12 games tomorrow night.
No doubt. The Battle of L.A.?
Yeah.
That should be a lot of fun, yeah.
Future Big Ten teams. Canty and Carlin.
Look at you pumping the Big Ten.
That's right. ESPN Radio and on the ESPN.
More teams to beat Rutgers.
Thanks.
Greeny.
Kevin Durant is supposed to be one of the greatest players of all time to essentially win one playoff series. He's the one who has wasted his time.
Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Everyone can boost their digital confidence with NordVPN. All it takes is one simple click. NordVPN will block online trackers, hide your virtual location, and secure your devices from malware-infected files during downloads. It will also detect malicious websites. So catch the Black Friday deal for a 1 or 2 year plan at NordVPN.com and get 3 months for free. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Mark your calendars now. The Urbana Park District's 55th Annual Turkey Trot Thanksgiving morning. The Turkey Trot will be at Crystal Lake Park in Urbana. This is a free event. Sign in at 8 a.m. and run or walk your mile at 9 a.m. The first 800 finishers get a ribbon. Stick around for door prizes after the trot. Everyone is welcome. Call 217-367-1544 for more information about this Thanksgiving tradition. Urbana Park District, you belong here.
Thinking of selling your home? Today's market is crazy, but one way you can be sure to stand out is by replacing your old flooring with new hardwood. And the best place to do it is Carpet Weavers in Champaign. Carpet Weavers boast the industry's best brands, including Shaw, Mohawk, Paramount, and more. When it comes to natural beauty and a rich quality, nothing beats new flooring from Carpet Weavers. And they have financing options for your budget, so you can always afford the floor you truly want. Increase the value of your home by installing new, high-quality options from Carpet Weavers. Find out more online at carpetweaversflooring.com.
If you want a steak, I mean a steak, prepared the way you want it, you've got to go to Long Branch Steakhouse. Hi, it's Jay Lehman. It's been over a year since I was introduced to Donnie at the Long Branch Steakhouse in Gifford. And when I want a great steak, that's where I go. And the sides, the Brussels sprouts, the mac and cheese, and the salad with Donnie's secret frog dressing. Long Branch Steakhouse in downtown Gifford. Open Wednesday through Saturday from 5 to 9 p.m. There's always room for the Long Branch Steakhouse.
Hi, this is Chris Jackson with Kramer Siding and Window, and we're proud to be your choice for the 2021 People's Choice Awards for the third year in a row. We want to say thank you by offering buy one, get one 50% off on all windows. And you can save 10% on roofing, sunrooms, and decks. So call today or visit us at kramersiding.com. And remember, at Kramer Siding and Window, you have a friend in the business.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Max Kellerman. Catch Lon Tay and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Yeah, I'm going to run to those ropes. I'm going to hit him with these 44-inch thighs as I come over that net, and I pin him for the 1-2-3, brother. What you going to do when Hulkamania in the Thunder Snow Sticks run wild? Oh, yeah.
Thunder Snow Sticks.
Martin Hahn, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can listen and watch on the ESPN app.
We go beyond. Experience the movie event you will remember forever. Show them who we are. Critics are raving about Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The Hollywood Reporter calls it suspenseful and exhilarating.
Only the most broken people can be great leaders.
A monumental epic. It's a triumphant success.
Now is our time. Wakanda Forever!
Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now playing everywhere. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13.
I'm Pablo Torre, host of the podcast ESPN Daily. Every weekday morning, I will bring you the best sports story you'll hear all day. Today on ESPN Daily, a question about how sports is supposed to be more empathetic about mental health while also pressure testing an athlete's mental toughness. We go to JJ Redick's house to find out. So follow us and listen wherever you get good podcasts.
Tomorrow on ESPN Radio. The Illinois Fighting Illini head to the Big House in Ann Arbor for a showdown with the third-ranked Michigan Wolverines.
This game isn't going to make us, but this game can definitely break us, man. The championship game for us, they're trying to ruin our season.
Illinois and number 3 Michigan, presented by Dr. Pepper. Coverage begins tomorrow morning at 11:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. You can also listen on the ESPN app and on your smart speaker. Respect it or check it with Canty and Carlin.
You get it changed. The intro says respect it, but it's respect it.
Respect it. No, I don't think we get it changed because when people think about respecting something, it's usually R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Okay.
But we just spell it a little bit differently here on Canty and Carlin.
We do, with a K.
Respect it.
We end it with a K.
Respect it or check it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Respect it or check it is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. Our host today is one Devin Kane. Devin, take it away.
All right, first up, Canty, the Cowboys will miss the playoffs. Respect it or check it?
No, I got to check that, man. The Cowboys are a good football team. They have a top-flight defense. Even though they're a little bit suspect against the run, their defense is great in being able to take the ball away, creating extra possessions. Their defense is outstanding on third downs and in the red zone. So much of success against good teams down the stretch comes down to situational football. The Cowboys have that in spades on the defensive side of the ball. And their quarterback is pretty damn good in Dak Prescott when he's at his best. I think we'll see a better version of him when he gets more games under his belt.
I'm going to check that, too. And, frankly, you look around the NFC, the Cowboys are a good team.
Yeah.
There's just no getting around that.
Yeah.
And I think they're better than a lot of other NFC teams that you would even consider remotely playoff contenders. They will absolutely make the playoffs.
All right, Carl, the Miami Dolphins are the biggest challenger to the Chiefs in the AFC. Respect it or check it?
I'm going to check that. And Canty's going to hate this answer. I'm still on the Buffalo Bills as the biggest challenger to the Chiefs. I would be really, really interested in seeing a Ravens-Chiefs AFC championship game or playoff game. I think that would be great. But I still buy that the Bills are their biggest challenge.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm going to check it, but I disagree with Carlin. I don't think it's the Buffalo Bills. I don't think it's the Miami Dolphins. It's the Baltimore Ravens. And Roquan Smith made a noticeable difference in the one game that he has played in a Ravens uniform. I think he's going to transform that defense. I am worried about the weapons that Lamar Jackson has to work with on the offensive side of the ball. Mark Andrews banged up, Rashad Bateman out for the season. He's going to need guys like Devin Duvernay to step up and Prochet and Isaiah Likely. Depending on what those guys do, I think is going to determine the ceiling. But Gus Edwards being back in that backfield is going to make a huge difference for Lamar, too. So I think they're the biggest challengers to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Just quickly, are we shortchanging the Titans there?
Of course we are.
Yeah.
Because of Ryan Tannehill. I'm not buying them.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Next.
Canty, Kirk Cousins is underrated. Respect it or check it?
Oh, I'm going to check that. He's not. He's
rated.
He's rated. Like he's properly rated. I don't think he's underrated. I don't think he's overrated. He's about what you would expect. He's a good, not great quarterback. If you were making a list of the top 10 to 12 quarterbacks coming into this season, he would not be on it. And Carlin, I don't think he's on it right now. I mean, his team is really good around him. He's got Dalvin Cook in the backfield, a solid offensive line, the best wide receiver in football in Justin Jefferson, who only needs 88 yards to pass Randy Moss's first 3 seasons in terms of total of receiving yards. I mean, Kirk Cousins is not getting in the way of the Minnesota Vikings, and I guess that's the best thing I can say about him right now.
Yeah, I would check that. He is properly rated, and don't get it twisted. His numbers are average, maybe a little bit above.
Yeah.
At 14 touchdowns and 8 picks. That's not spectacular.
No.
Yeah. Next.
Carlin, all 4 AFC East teams will make the playoffs. Respect it or check it?
I'm going to check it. I think that if it were to happen for any division, it would happen for that one. The only other one that we would have talked about would have been the NFC East. But if it's going to happen, it would be there, but I don't expect it to happen at the end. Bill Belichick's the only reason I would say it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think at this point that it's a quite good enough reason.
I'm going to check it. You're only going to get 3 teams out of the AFC East. Which 3 teams? I don't know, Carlin. And that's the curious part about it, because it could be the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins. Could be the Patriots, the Bills, and the Dolphins. But could you imagine a world where the Patriots, Jets, and Dolphins get in and the Buffalo Bills do not?
Wow.
Could you imagine that world?
Wow.
I mean, I know we're always rooting for chaos on this show.
Now I'm kind of rooting for that.
But, I mean, think about it. Listen, the Buffalo Bills season is on the line over the next, 5 days?
Yes, very much so.
Their season is on the line.
Very much so.
Like, they got to win on Sunday in Detroit, and then they got to turn around and win on Thursday in Detroit. They got to get it done. If they drop one or both of these games, Carlin, then all of a sudden we're talking about their playoff chances being on life support.
Yeah. Boy, that would be something, though. That would be something to see.
Yeah, next.
The Chiefs will get the number 1 overall seed in the AFC East. Carlin, respect it or check it?
Yeah, I'll respect it, because overall they're just the best team. Chris, I really do have major concerns about the Chiefs' defense.
You do?
I do.
When have we not had major concerns about the Chiefs' defense?
I know. I understand this. They do have 3 excellent players in Chris Jones, Nick Bolton, and L'Jarius Sneed. Yeah. They have 3 excellent players, but I'll respect it.
I am going to check it. Really? I don't think they're going to have the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. but I do think they're going to host the AFC Championship game.
So you got the number 1 seed and the Tennessee Titans losing.
Well, I think the Miami Dolphins could be the number 1 seed, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll have a massive home field advantage because of playing in the heat.
Yeah, I think the Miami Dolphins will be the number 1 seed in the AFC, but I think the AFC Championship game will be hosted by the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'll tell you what will be sweet about that. The Dolphins will be the number 1 seed.
Yep.
You and I will be getting clobbered for 2 weeks.
Oh, no doubt.
And then they will go and lose, and Tua will be terrible.
If they lose in the divisional round?
Yeah.
Ooh, could you imagine?
We will rip
losing in the divisional round to Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals.
We'll rip him to shreds.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Thank you for calling Navy Federal Credit Union. How can I help you?
Hi, if I'm in the Army, not in the Navy, am I still eligible for membership?
Yes, you are.
What about my sister in the Air Force?
Her too.
And my dad's a Marine.
We serve all branches of the military, veterans, and their families.
My dog is a retired military working dog.
I'll see what I can do.
Find out if you're eligible at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
See the showroom top designer shop. Flooring Surface is your first stop. Amazing selection, price, and style on hardwoods, laminates, carpet, and tile. Low prices on high fashion. Step up the flooring that gets a wow reaction. See the showroom top designer shop. Flooring Surface is your first stop. Flooring Surface is your first stop.
Flooring Surfaces now offers beautiful window fashions. Our interior design team will custom fit shade, shutters, and blinds to any size opening. Visit the showroom to see the latest fashions from Graber and Hunter Douglas, or request an in-home consultation. Whether it's floors or windows, Flooring Surfaces has you covered. See us today at 401 Mercury Drive in Champaign.
See the showroom top designer shop. Flooring Surface is your first stop. Flooring Surface is your first stop.
Crossroads Contractor Supply, bringing us our Stevie J Broadcasting Law Enforcement Official of the Month.
Corey's the supervisor, says Corey is so mature, it's like having another supervisor as a helper. So you are well thought of at Urbana Police. Why did you make the move?
The sheriff's office is, you'd be down here in Philo, and then you get a call, all the way up in Fisher.
A lot of driving around.
It's really spread out. I like Urbana's big enough that there's a lot that goes on. It keeps you busy, but it only takes a minute or two to get to every call, and that's one of the main reasons. And then, like I said, when I worked in the jail, I really like the officers that come in for the Urbana Police Department. It seems like a tight-knit group. Speaking to the community, people are coming around to want to talk to the police and not be so negative about some of the things, the actions of a few or, a couple news articles that you see really shed a bad light on police in some people's eyes, and I think it's getting better.
Crossroads Contractor Supply, delivering within a 150-mile radius of Champaign-Urbana, supporting our Law Enforcement Official of the Month.
Looking for a custom design that stands out for your business? Wanting to get your vehicle wrapped but just don't know where to go? It's Aftershock Decals and Designs. From vehicle wraps to building designs, Aftershock creates designs that make heads turn. Heck, they wrap all of Land's heating, cooling, and plumbing trucks and vans. The one where Troy Lands is waving? That's Aftershock. Aftershock Decals and Designs. Heck, they also do signs, banners, even amazing coffee tumblers. Check them out at AftershockDD.com.
There's a lot new at Merle Norman. Shop now to receive a free Hidden Treasures gift with purchase. 4 trial-sized products for prepping and setting your makeup are available while supplies last at Merle Norman, 706 West Market View Drive, off North Prospect in Champaign. Your gift is free with the purchase of 2 or more Merle Norman cosmetic products. Cosmetic accessories not included. Offer valid while supplies last at participating Merle Norman Cosmetic Studios. Limit 1 per customer. We reserve the right to substitute individual components.
You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck duck goose because you do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow will help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow in Champaign-Urbana today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Have you been to Pards in Urbana? Well, you need to go to Pards in Urbana. Here's what people are saying. Great customer service, friendly staff. They treat you like family. I love Pards. I was very impressed. Great service, very neat store. I was greeted and asked if they could help me. That's why you should go. Check them out. It's Pards in Urbana. They're between University and Maine. It's on Maple. Pards in Urbana, or visit pards.com. Pards.com. Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Buffalo Bills canceled practice today with heavy snowfall in western New York. Because of that weather, the Bills game with the Browns will be played in Detroit on Sunday. The team will travel tomorrow. The Patriots host the Jets Sunday, and ESPN's Mike Reese believes this is a crucial game for New England because of what's down the road.
Look what's coming up after this game. At Minnesota, 8-1 team on the road Thanksgiving night, and then come back home the next Thursday at home against the Bills. So if you don't get this game, your season might be headed in the wrong direction.
Mike Reese on KJ and Max. Titans offensive coordinator Todd Downing is charged with DUI and speeding after the team came back to Nashville. The Titans beat the Packers in Green Bay last night. The Angels make a trade with the Twins to get third baseman Gio Urshela. Minnesota gets a minor league pitcher. And in the new FIBA World Basketball rankings, Spain is number 1 with Team USA now second, falling out of the top spot for the first time since 2010.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
If you haven't take problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but Chris ain't one. Hit me.
This is Canty and Carlin.
The birthday boy Nuno was just asking during the break if I had ever gotten kicked out of a place. I only got tossed once. As it turned out, it was a case of mistaken identity. I thought that it was with the drummer of a popular 90s band, the Spin Doctors. Okay. I told this story. I think I told this story on the air with you. The drummer of the band called in and said, I never got in a fight with you. I don't know who it is. Really? Turns out it was a roadie. And it wasn't a fight. He came over and took my beer. He says, that's my beer because I'm with the band.
So he took your beer, then he shoved you.
Yeah, and then I
don't know. Something sounds fishy about this story. Right.
Hang on.
Now from the ESPN studios in New York City, this is Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio. Plus, listen and watch on the ESPN app.
Coming down the home stretch on Canty and Carlin, we're on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and Sirius XM Channel 80. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. No Chris Carlin, he decided to duck out early, but you know who we do have? ESPN sports betting analyst Doug Kazarian, who joins the show. We got to get you set for the weekend of sports ahead. And Doug, I'm just going to get straight to it because I'm a former Cowboy. I root for the Cowboys. I was underwhelmed with their performance last week in Lambeau. But they're going into Minnesota as the favorites on the road. Seems like a little bit of a head-scratcher when you consider the Vikings winning 7 straight games. Can you explain why the line is favoring the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, no, good to be with you. It's pretty crazy, right? Vikings 8-1, home underdog. In fact, they're just the second team since the merger that is 8-1 and a home underdog that's playing with its regular quarterback. So there have been a couple other instances that were a backup, and obviously that changes the point spread. But it is pretty interesting in that regard. But all it comes down to is power rating, what these teams are on a neutral field. And there's 3 AFC and 3 NFC teams that are would be favored over the Vikings on a neutral field. And this is obviously not a neutral field. It's in Minneapolis. But the Dallas is a small favorite here, and it's all about the situation too. And you know this: you have one team coming off a big win, and one team kind of smarting and just can't wait to get back out there off a loss that stings. And we saw what the Packers looked like last night, pretty flat off a big win. Are the Vikings going to have a similar performance? Maybe, but the right side does indicate Dallas here, but I think it's a little unfair to the Vikings. You can't have it both ways. You can't have a league of parity and then also criticize a team that's making the extra plays in one-score games. They're 7-0.
Well, Doug, one game or one line that's not unfair is the New York Jets as they head to Foxborough at 3.5-point underdogs. I think they've lost 13 in a row to the New England Patriots. How do you see this matchup playing out, and where's the value in this game?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because Bill Belichick has been a thorn in the side of a lot of bettors over the years. He's just so dominant, and it's because it's really hard to project or model what they do because it's almost like his past stats from this regular season don't matter because he's all about making the other team play left-handed. So they may throw 50 times one week and the next week throw 3 times. And that's just how it goes with Belichick. So it's really hard to kind of project what to do with a Belichick coach team. For me, it's Patriots or pass. Jets have done some really nice things this year. Obviously, the rivalry they've narrowed the gap, so to speak, but I don't bet against Belichick, and if I do, it's very rare. So I'm going to lay it with the Patriots here, but I can't blame anyone for wanting the Jets because the number is above 3, so it's 3.5. 3 is the most common margin of victory in NFL.
Doug, I feel like this is one of those games, no matter which side you're on, if you're going to bet the over-under, take the under with both defenses in this matchup.
Yeah, I can see that. It's a low total, right? It's the lowest one on the board for the weekend at 38. But to your point, obviously, Wilson was asked questions about the interceptions in the last game and things like that. I think he's going to be a little hesitant, a little conservative with some of the throws downfield. I could see this certainly being under. There's a reason it's the lowest under on the board.
Talking with ESPN betting insider Doug Kazarian on Canty and Carlin. And Doug, with everything going on with the Bills-Browns game, the snow, and how the travel for the Bills could potentially be affected, the venue being changed, what's your read on the Bills being favored by 8 points?
You know, it is pretty interesting. So what happened is the over-under went up and the line kind of stayed the same because they're expecting more points because of the perfect conditions in a dome that's in Detroit. And there's kind of like a dead zone between 7.5 and 9.5 in the point spread world because there's not really many outcomes. It's above 7 is really interesting, and then below 10. So it's in that dead zone. But I kind of like the Bills here. I think it's a fascinating situation because they're in Detroit next week on the short week for Thanksgiving, so they're just going to stay there. But I would lay it with the Bills. I think Cleveland's going to run all over them. And they're going to have their way. But this kind of feels like the Miami game last week with the Browns where they hung around for a little bit. But over the course of 4 quarters, you get the feeling that the Bills just have too much firepower. And I bet they're eager to get back on the field after losing to Minnesota.
Doug, you're the best in the business because you actually led me to the next thought I had when it came to the adjustment that the Bills have had to make on the fly this weekend. They are in Detroit for the Thanksgiving Day game. I know sometimes the best lines you can get on games are the look-aheads the week before. So how would the travel schedule affect the look-ahead for the Thursday Thanksgiving Day game for the Buffalo Bills against the Lions?
Well, as you know, so much of sort of the home field advantage is built into just travel and nuisance of not being in your home surroundings. So it's not necessarily the crowd noise or anything like that. It's just people not, in their home environment having to deal with stuff. So maybe like being away sort of hurts a team. I mean, I know the Raiders this year stayed on the East Coast, went to Florida after losing it to the Saints, and then led by 17 in Jacksonville before blowing that lead. Mm-hmm. So there's kind of different schools of thought. So yes, it's going to be conducive, like not having to travel, but they're not like you and I at the airports. They have private planes. So traveling Thanksgiving weekend is not a big deal for them in terms of a headache. It's just being away from home and out of your surroundings. But they're 10-point favorites right now in Detroit. I think that game could get ugly too. I don't think much of this Lions team at all. I really don't. Last year they were sort of point spread darlings and covering a bunch, but that hasn't really been the case this year.
Doug Kazarian, ESPN betting insider, letting us know how he feels about the Detroit Lions and all things sports related when it comes to getting that coin. And, Doug, moving on to my New York Giants, they're only 3-point favorites against that team that you don't really have a lot of respect for in the Detroit Lions at home. What did you make of this line when you first saw it, and what direction are you – well, you kind of told me what direction are you leaning, but how do you feel about laying that 3 points on the Giants in this weekend's matchup?
I'm okay with it. We talked about it earlier this week on our show, Daily Wager, and we said who has more disrespect against them, the Giants or the Vikings this week? And I made the case for the Giants. Last week, Dan Campbell picked up his first road win. They're not a good football team, let alone on the road. And I think this Giants team, there's been money that's come in, and like last week, there was a flood of money on the Texans +7, +6.5. When I say flood of money, respected money, professional money. And it moved the market all the way down. The Giants covered. I think the Giants are better than people realize. And this sort of goes back to what I was saying about the Vikings. You can't have it both ways. You can't say it's a league of parity and then also say, they just win every game close. Well, they're winning games. And especially when the line is relatively short at 3, I just think this Detroit team got lucky with the Bears defense and the pick 6 by Fields. And I don't know if they're mature enough and strong enough in a locker room to sort of sustain like excellence over back-to-back road games. You know what it takes to kind of go on the road, get a win, and then keep the gas tank full and go on the road again and win. And we saw the Packers, like I said, come flat after a big win. I just don't know if the Lions have that maturity. We see it in college football a lot, but these guys are still young men. I just don't know if they're there yet.
Yeah, I'm with you 1,000%, and it's saying something that was Dan Campbell's first road win since he became head coach of the Lions. It's hard to imagine that he's going to follow it up with another road win in as many weeks. Talking to ESPN betting insider Doug Kazarian on Canty and Carlin. And, Doug, we're pivoting to college football. We got a couple of big matchups in the Pac-12. Battle of L.A. with USC. They're favored 2.5 points over UCLA. And then we've got Utah favored by 2 points on the road against Oregon. What do you like in these two matchups? What are the game plays that you're looking for in these two games?
Yeah, let's start with the Victory Bell game. USC is a short road favorite. It's in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl. A lot of people I really respect are on UCLA here just to run all over the Trojans. Last week loss, we talked about maturity. It was kind of an immature loss by the Bruins looking ahead to the rivalry game and losing outright as a 20-point favorite. I think the Trojans might eke out a win. I don't want to get involved. Travis Dye, the stud running back transfer, he's out for the season. I like the over 66. Let's not overthink it. Last year's game featured 95 points. Both defenses ranked around 70th in terms of defensive efficiency. And I think both offenses, when looking to click and really put up some points, Caleb Williams might be the most valuable player to a team this week. Scott Van Pelt and Stanford Steve discussed that this week on their show. I just think he's everything for this team and this offense. Neither defense is impressive. I think 66 feels low. I'm on the over in that game, but I will say I respect the people that are on the Bruins, although it's kind of unanimous almost. And the Utah-Oregon line is fascinating. So this went from Oregon being favored at home to Utah being favored on the road about 2.5. And this was all about a wide receiver for the Ducks taking sort of that scrum interview midweek after practice. And he just casually let it slip that he said, well, obviously Bo is out, so it's next man up. And he let it slip. And usually these coaches keep things tight-lipped, and it looks like Bo Nix is out. And so that comment, a casual comment in the middle of a media scrum, shifted the point spread to Utah being a road favorite, and odds makers I've spoken to say, Nix is out. I don't care what Dan Lanning is saying because the head coach is saying, we're preparing Nix to start. It doesn't look like it. So I would avoid the game. I would go under, if anything, but it's a fascinating sort of betting sequence of events that got us there.
Yeah, I hear you on that. If the starting quarterback's out, you probably want to look to fade that team. I'm with you on that 1,000%. Doug, I appreciate your time. Thanks for jumping on with us, and we'll talk to you again soon, my friend.
My pleasure. Enjoy your football weekend.
All right, that's ESPN betting insider Doug Kazarian joining Canty and Carlin. Of course, there's no Carlin. He decided to dip out early, but we ain't going to hold that against him. But we are going to continue to get your pockets right this weekend and look at some of the underdogs who will win this weekend. We'll do that after I tell you about Vivid Seats. Football season is heating up, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Not only does Vivid Seats have great NFL ticket prices, they're also the official ticketing partner of ESPN. And with Vivid Seats Rewards, when you buy 10 tickets, you get the 11th free. So download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats, Life Happens Live. Receive a reward credit equal to the average price of 10 tickets purchased, excluding taxes, fees, and processing costs. See vividseats.com/rewards for terms and conditions.
Waking up with Key, Jay, and Max.
I am openly admitting that I was completely wrong about what I saw in Robert Saleh and the New York Jets. The quarterback is still whatever, but the rest of that team, oh my God.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. It all starts weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Okay, can I have everybody's attention for just a second?
Morgan's media planning firm just landed a multi-million-dollar client.
Because we won the pitch.
She needs to staff up before trafficking hits a traffic jam.
So we're going to need research, planning, buying, obviously, and probably data analytics.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
When you love riding a motorcycle, you want to ride it everywhere, even to a physical.
Let's check your weight. Hop on the scale. Look at that. You're down a few pounds.
Oh, yeah. Must be the new carbon fiber wheels. And when you love saving money, you want to save even more. That's why Geico makes it easy to bundle your motorcycle and car insurance.
I'm going to prescribe 91 octane for your engine knock, and we'll want to see you again in 3,000 miles.
Kickstart your savings with Geico Motorcycle. Bundle and save on the things you love.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands, owner of Lands Inc. You never realize how much you rely on the plumbing in your home until something goes wrong. A small leak can end up with a big repair if it's not taken care of right away. At the first sign of trouble, visit landsinc.com. While there, learn more about plumbing, drain cleaning, and underground solutions. At Lands Inc., our commitment is to you, the customer. We look forward to having you be a part of the Lands family. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
Like most banks, we offer an app that lets you do pretty much everything you need from your pocket. But at Iroquois Federal, we believe great banking is less about the app you tap and more about what you tap into. And for us, that's a hometown bank where decisions are made locally by the same folks you'll bump into on the bleachers at the next big game, providing the hometown touch that's made us part of the community for nearly 140 years. Iroquois Federal. Still friendly, still local, still here. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's a totally Christmas winter wonderland at Prairie Gardens. Ornaments, decor, wreaths, garlands, and so much more, all ready now, along with brand new savings. This week, save 50% off all Christmas bushes. Select large Christmas candle jars are $6.97. All furniture, save 10%. Plus, find your perfect artificial Christmas tree with the largest selection around and very best tree guarantee at Prairie Gardens, your Christmas destination for over 50 years.
At Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people with amazing service, great design advice, and unbeatable selection and the best prices in town. It's the perfect time to update your home with waterproof flooring, carpet, hardwood, tile, and more. Then complete your rooms by shopping our incredible selection of furniture and accessories. We also offer great financing options. Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Sit back and relax and take the drive with Lon Tay and Derek Piper. Weekdays 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hold on for a sec. Can someone bring me more broccoli?
She needs to realign her staffing plan with more registered dental assistants.
Can you reorder the rubber bands and bread?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuits seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-917-1181. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-917-1181. That's 800-917-1181. Again, 800-917-1181.
Oh, yeah. Let's get it going with the NFL music going into Week 11. Week 11. I can't believe we're in Week 11 in the NFL season, but we're here. Kenny and Carlin on ESPN Radio and Sirius XM Channel 80. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. And when we start talking about the Week 11 slate, we got to talk about the dogs in the fight. And so this weekend preview is brought to you by Geico. Switch to Geico today and see all the ways you could save. So Devin Kane, our producer, is going to help me run through some of the underdogs that we think could have a chance at making things a little bit interesting this weekend. Dev, let's go. Let's get it.
All right, let's get it. First game up, Chicago Bears, +3 visiting Atlanta. What do you think on this one?
Man, have you seen what Justin Fields has been doing the last month in the National Football League? Over the last 4 games, Justin Fields is third in QBR behind Tua and Pat Mahomes. The guy has accounted for 13 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. This dude is flat out balling. And against the Atlanta Falcons, this is a team that has shown itself to struggle against mobile quarterbacks on the defensive side of the ball. This is a spot where I like the Chicago Bears because they got a quarterback that's playing with a lot more confidence. Luke Getsy is doing a good job of those quarterback design runs. And then Justin Fields with the second reaction plays, buying time for big plays, not only in the passing game, but with his legs. Last week, a 67-yard touchdown run after he threw a pick 6. The kid has always shown some poise, but now we're starting to see the productivity step up. So I actually like the Chicago Bears getting the 3 points in this matchup. I would take the Bears and the points.
All right, so we talked about this game a bunch with the snow impacting this game. The Buffalo Browns game is moving to Detroit. The Browns, +8 against the Buffalo Bills in a neutral field in Detroit. What do you think on this one?
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing, and I heard what Doug Kazarian from our Daily Wager crew had to say about the Buffalo Bills and how he doesn't necessarily think that the flux with the week schedule and the travel arrangements is going to affect the Bills. I've been a player in that situation. It absolutely affects you. Because players are creatures of habit. The Cleveland Browns went from having to get on a plane and play in blizzard conditions to getting on a bus and traveling 2 hours to play indoors in Detroit. We also got to keep in mind, Cleveland got embarrassed last week by the Miami Dolphins, and this is a team that if they can't dictate the complexion of the game by leaning on Nick Chubb and running the football and playing keep away, they are going to struggle. I think Cleveland gets back to basics, and I think this ends up being a rough day for the Buffalo Bills. We're talking about this team potentially losing outright, so I love the Cleveland Browns getting the 8 points.
All right, we got the Fighting Jeff Saturdays, +7 versus the Eagles. What do you think on this one, kid?
Yeah, Dad, let me tell you what's not going to happen. The Indianapolis Colts being able to cover the +7. I don't see them being able to keep it close because the Eagles got embarrassed for the whole country to see on Monday Night Football against the Commanders. I think they take that out on the Colts coming into their building. They're not going to get pushed around the same way they got pushed around. You saw the response from the organization in going out and signing 2 defensive tackles in Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh because they let Washington run the ball 50 times. They are going to have their way with the Indianapolis Colts. I'm looking for a big day from Jalen Hurts. And so I wouldn't touch this dog. I think you might as well let this one lay down because the Philadelphia Eagles are going to take care of their business.
All right, we got an interesting AFC East matchup. The Jets, +3.5, visiting the New England Patriots. What do you think?
Yeah, it's been 13 straight with the Patriots beating the Jets. I think they're going to extend that streak. There's something about Zach Wilson that I just don't trust. And although I love the Jets defense, I love Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams, who's playing at an all-pro level, they're winning in spite of their quarterback, not because of him. And we know Bill Belichick always has a great game plan when he's facing young quarterbacks. Another corner in this game that not a lot of people are talking about is Jack Jones, who has the highest coverage grade of any NFL cornerback so far this season. So I look for Jack Jones in that Patriots secondary to generate a few more takeaways, better field position, extra possessions for that Patriots offense, and Mac Jones in the running game do just enough for the Patriots to eke out one at home against the Jets. I see the hook, the 3.5, but I still wouldn't touch it. I would go with the New England Patriots.
All right, another interesting game we've talked about. Minnesota visiting Dallas. Minnesota's home against Dallas, and they are getting 1.5 points. What do you think?
Yeah, man, everything in me says that Vegas is begging you to take Minnesota as a home dog, especially coming off of that win up in Buffalo. I ain't going to do it. I'm rolling with the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are a good football team, and I'm not saying I want to disrespect the Minnesota Vikings, but I feel like there's a little bit of turnover luck in there. In hockey, they call it puck luck. In the NFL, we call it turnover luck. But things bounced their way with the Buffalo Bills turning it over 4 times that we just glossed over the fact that Kirk Cousins threw 2 interceptions in that game. I don't think Dak Prescott is going to return the turnovers in kind to the Minnesota Vikings offense, which is why I love the Dallas Cowboys in this spot. So no dog in the fight on this one. I'm rolling with the Dallas Cowboys, and I would lay the 1.5.
All right, let's do another game that we talked about a little bit earlier.
All right, we got time for one more. Let's go.
The Vegas Raiders plus 2.5 at Denver.
Oh.
It prompted Nathaniel Hackett to say this in his presser.
Somebody's got to win this game.
Yeah, not exactly what you want to hear from your head coach, right? If you're a player in that Broncos locker room, your head coach is saying somebody has to win this game. How about saying we're going to win this damn game against a team that can't get out of their own way in the Vegas Raiders, a team where the owner had to come out and give the head coach a vote of confidence. If you can't beat those people, then your problems are bigger than what we thought. So, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think this is a situation where I would almost roll with the Las Vegas Raiders in this one just because the Denver Broncos have been so bad. And I don't necessarily know that I have a lot of confidence in either team. But I think if you're starting to ask me the question of which quarterback do I feel most confident in that can make plays, I would go with Derek Carr over Russell Wilson. That's just where I'm at with it. So I'll take the dog in the fight in this one with the Raiders visiting the Broncos, but I ain't saying it with my chest. We've got a packed slate of NBA action tonight, and we'll get you all set for that when Big Perk joins the show. That's right, Kendrick Perkins. You're listening to Canty and Carlin on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hey, it's Greeny, and it's a fabulous football weekend with so many implications on the college gridiron and one of the best schedules of the season in the NFL. We'll be the place to talk about it all Monday. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-2521. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-2521. 800-285-2521. 800-285-2521.
The Illinois Fighting Illini head to the Big House in Ann Arbor for a showdown with the third-ranked Michigan Wolverines. Coverage begins tomorrow morning at 11:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. You can also listen on the ESPN app, presented by Dr. Pepper. The biggest names in sports are on ESPN Radio.
Kevin Byard, Tennessee Titans safety.
We have no quit in us. Obviously, most of our games are going to be in dog fights, and nobody's panicking on the sideline saying, like, okay, here we go again. Since Mike Vrabel's been here, we found a way to win those games.
Bob Huggins, West Virginia head coach, and Scott Drew, Baylor head coach, join us.
The NIL thing, what I like about it is nobody has to borrow my car anymore. They all have their own.
We have a 7-time Pro Bowler, Dwight Freeney.
Everybody wants to keep counting out the Giants. It's the PTSD, right? It's all the past issues that they've had. There's no way they're going to win this game.
Eric Kendricks, ladies and gentlemen, all-pro Vikings linebacker.
Everybody's bought in right now, so let's ride.
No, I want you to say let's ride. I want you to, hey, Eric, I don't want you to say that.
Yeah. The biggest names in sports come here. And it all starts weekday mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. And continues all day. This is ESPN Radio.
Coming up on Monday, I'll tell you what my biggest takeaways are from a huge weekend in the NFL. Don't miss my key observations at 7:15 a.m. Eastern, Monday on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Mike Greenberg. Greeny.
For the first time, I legitimately questioned Buffalo. I thought Buffalo winning the AFC was the closest thing to a certainty that we had. They find ways to lose close games, and the quarterback is a big part of it. Like, it was Buffalo or the field for me, and I would have leaned Buffalo. Yeah. I do not anymore.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app. And ESPN Radio Extra Point with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Have we ever seen a major drop-off like this from an elite player? Like, even last year when Patrick Mahomes, that's fine, but even last year when Patrick Mahomes had one of his worst years, they still made it to the AFC Championship game.
And he was still pretty good. He was still a top
good.
5 quarterback.
Like, so think about this. You talk about the Titans have the 31st ranked opponents per yard, passing yards per game, right? So Patrick Mahomes, in the game that they won, threw for 446 yards. 446 yards. So coming off that game last night, you're watching Aaron Rodgers, and he's missing throws. His momentum is taking him backwards. He's throwing the ball with his back foot. Yeah. Think about that disparity, that distance between Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, when last year we would have thought about them being side by side.
The Wendy's $3 breakfast deal is here. Get a bacon or sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, plus a small seasoned potatoes. That's a better breakfast for just $3 in 3 easy steps. 1, wake up. 2, get out of bed. And 3, head to Wendy's for your $3 breakfast deal. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's $3 breakfast deal.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours. Select a request $3 breakfast deal in order to obtain discount. Not valid for a la carte or combos orders. Price and participation may vary in Alaska and Hawaii.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. There's already 3 feet of snow near Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, with more on the way. The Bills canceled practice today. They'll travel to Detroit tomorrow for their game with the Browns on Sunday. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson not at practice today with an illness, but should be ready to go Sunday against the Panthers. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers may be ready to go out of the playoff picture. Losing to the Titans last night didn't help. ESPN's Sam Acho.
That was probably the game they needed if they wanted to make a playoff run. 6 more games. If you want to make the playoffs, you probably got to win all 6 of them, and it's not looking good, not only for him, but for that entire team.
Sam Acho on Greeny. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford clears concussion protocol. He'll play Sunday against the Saints after missing 1 game. Steelers safety Minka Fitzpatrick is ready to play against the Bengals on Sunday, just 1 week after having an appendectomy. Chiefs wideout Juju Smith-Schuster out for Sunday night's game against the Chargers. He's in the concussion protocol after taking a hit last week against the Jaguars.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
It's Kenny and Carlin on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and Sirius XM Channel 80. We are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. Now, no Chris Carlin. He's out gallivanting in New York City somewhere. But we do have ESPN NBA analyst Kendrick Perkins joining the show. And Big Perk, what up? It's been a minute. How you feeling, big fella? Big Perk, you got us? Big Perk. Okay, I guess we're having some technical difficulties, but I did want to get into what's going on with the Brooklyn Nets. They had a huge win last night in Portland. Buzzer beater, a tap in after KD missed what he thought was going to be the game winner. But performances by Royce O'Neal with the triple-double, and then we saw Ben Simmons off the bench being able to give you 15 points and 13 boards. But the biggest headline for the Brooklyn Nets is Kyrie Irving potentially being back in the fold this weekend. Sources said that they're expecting Kyrie Irving to play Sunday for the Nets at Barclays. They're matched up against the Memphis Grizzlies, so it would be interesting to see the reception that Kyrie Irving is going to get from the Nets fans and from the NBA fans. So right now, we're going to be joined by ESPN analyst Danny Green. And Danny, it's great to have you on the show. And what did you make of the news about Kyrie Irving being set to rejoin the Brooklyn Nets this Sunday?
Oh, it's great to be on, man. Appreciate you having me. I think it's great news. The game has been missing him. A lot of fans, a lot of the league. He's a big part of what we do in the NBA. And, it's going to be exciting to have him back. I know Brooklyn's going to be excited. Obviously, I would like him not to play against my team. But, it's going to be good to have him back. It's going to be good to have him for the league.
And Danny, I wanted to ask you, because we saw the Brooklyn Nets get, which we have to call an impressive win last night on the road in Portland. They do have the best record in the Western Conference. They got that win last night. So with what you saw from Ben Simmons and Kevin Durant adding Kyrie, just exactly what is the ceiling for this Brooklyn Nets team this year?
I said this the other night. I think they can be a contender. They can really turn around. Once Ben starts getting his rhythm back and mental and feeling good. Also, you forget, Seth Curry and Joe Harris. Those guys are coming off injuries, and once they're feeling back to the normal selves, they can be really good. They just have to buy in, to Jack Vaughn's principles and theories. I think he's got a good, system there. And once you get Kyrie back, that's one of the best teams in the East when you look at it.
Danny, I mean, you've been in the league a really long time, and I got to ask you this question because I've seen nothing like it. The reigning defending champs, the Golden State Warriors, can't seem to find a way to win on the road. I mean, the last time we saw a defending champ struggle this bad on the road, you got to go back to the 1998-99 Bulls, and there's a reason for that. They lost Michael Jordan. How do you explain the struggles for the Golden State Warriors to start the season, especially on the road?
I mean, they're just cruising right now. It was a short summer. Clay is still getting back to his full self, and to have that quick turnaround for him, battling the injuries that he had the last 2 years is tough. Also, you have some chemistry issues that they had earlier on, but honestly, it's so early in the season, it's hard to say or to be concerned or worried. At this point in the season, it's too early to be concerned or worried. But I think they'll pull it together. They are champions. They have that DNA. They know how to win, and they will come together. And I'm sure they'll be playing their type of brand of basketball, within the next month or so.
Talking with ESPN NBA analyst and current NBA player for the Memphis Grizzlies, Danny Green, on Canty and Carlin. And Danny, Luka Doncic is currently the betting favorite to win the MVP. When you watch him play this year, What makes him so effective, and what are you seeing in terms of the growth of the individual player?
His IQ is outrageous, but he's just crafty, getting better, shooting the ball better, more efficiently, obviously making free throws. But he has a amazing touch around the rim, and he knows how to draw fouls. So he's getting also better teammates around him. But he's just figuring it out, and teams are having troubles with him. And each year he's going to get better and better, and he's going to have to set the teammates. I think the people around him have helped him and made it easier for him to be able to be effective and more efficient.
Well, Danny, one of the players that a lot of teams around the NBA have trouble with is your teammate, Ja Morant. And what has it been like to be able to watch him up close and personal and see the things that he's capable of accomplishing?
It's crazy. You never get used to his athleticism and explosiveness. It's out of this world, but he's also becoming a better, smarter, high IQ player and understand the game. And, the guys around him, the system, the teammates, they all support him. And I think, it's a special group, not just with him, but, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson. We have a lot of good pieces that make up the Memphis Grizzlies. And, of course, watching him is a highlight reel. So it's a lot of fun, but people underrate his IQ, and he's an elite athlete. Not just that, but he can play the game very well and understand to pick and choose his places and spots that were on the floor where he wants to score.
Talking with Memphis Grizzlies player Danny Green on Canty and Carlin. And Danny, I've asked you all of these soft toss questions, but I got to ask you a hard-hitting one. I'm a diehard Lakers fan, and right now it feels like a little bit of me is dying every day when I got to watch this team play. And so I got to hear it from you. What needs to happen in order for this team to get things turned around? Or can they get things turned around where they can compete at a championship level and take advantage of LeBron James at this stage in his career?
I mean, it's so early in the season, it's always time to turn around. They have to get healthy first. But I think there's probably some moves that might need to happen or need to be made. But if they get healthy first, I think they'll be a lot better team. But, they need some pieces that, I guess, gel together or fit a little bit better. But there's always time. It's so early in the season, there's a lot of time.
All right, Danny, last one from me before I let you go. What team has you surprised the most in the early goings of this NBA season?
There's more than one team. I think everybody could say Portland, Utah, San Antonio. Those guys are balling, and they're playing very well. So to see those teams that people thought were going to be tanking at the top of the West, it's just very impressive, and I think took a lot of us by surprise.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Dan. Oh, real quick, how's your rehab going? How's your rehab going, Danny?
It's going great. It's going really good, man. I'm getting better each day. All I need is 1% a day, and I'll be good soon. But I don't want to jinx it, but we have a really good target date, and I should be on the floor, hopefully in the new year.
That's what's up, man. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you back on the NBA courts really, really soon. Appreciate you joining the show, my man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
All right, that's NBA analyst and current Memphis Grizzlies player Danny Green joining Canty and Carlin. Coming up next, we'll get you set for the weekend with our play of the night and 3 and Out. That's on deck. You're listening to Canty and Carlin, ESPN Radio.
Waking up with Key, J, and Max.
Odell Beckham, it fits best in Dallas. His presence with those younger receivers, it makes the Dallas Cowboys so much better offensively whenever he gets there.
Keyshawn, J, Will, and Max. It all starts weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Dell's Black Friday event has arrived with select deals on top tech to power any passion. The savings start now with up to $400 off on select XPS and Alienware PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, including free shipping on everything. Just call 877-ASK-DELL for Black Friday deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL, 877-ASK-DELL.
Hi, this is Gina from ABC Heating and Air Conditioning.
If you want a locally owned family business to help you always be comfortable, who have trained, talented, licensed, and experienced technicians, then call me to schedule an appointment. We'll check your furnace to make sure it'll keep you warm this winter. And just like our name, ABC, you will always be comfortable.
Call Gina today at 217-352-5400 or visit them online at abcheatingandac.com. That's abcheatingandac.com.
Hey, Illini fans, Jets Pizza is hiring both full and part-time team members. If you enjoy people and you're looking for a fast-paced, high-energy job, then Jets is the place for you. Need some extra cash? Starting pay is $12 an hour, and there's potential for promotion based on attitude and performance, and you'll get a good employee discount. The hardest part of the job is being around that amazing aroma of the homemade pizza sauce. Drive for Jets. Be a part of the Jets family today. Apply online at jetspizza.com. Jets Pizza, better because it has to be.
Hi, I'm Flora Adams-Williams, Physician Assistant at OSF Healthcare. It's that time of year when we need to get our flu vaccines. Every flu season is different, and influenza infection can affect people differently. An annual seasonal flu vaccine is the best way to help protect against influenza. Some easy steps to protect yourself from getting the flu or COVID-19 as simple as social distancing, wearing your mask, covering your cough, washing your hands with soap and water, or using hand sanitizer. Flu vaccine prevents tens of thousands of hospitalizations each year. For example, during the year 2018 and 2019 flu season, the vaccination prevented an estimated 58,000 flu-related hospitalizations. The CDC recommends a vaccine for everyone 6 months and older. Flu shots are available at OSF Medical Group primary care offices and OSF Ergo locations. For more details, visit osfhealthcare.org.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix Relagolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
We'll get right back to the calls right after Bart tells us about O'Reilly.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to need y'all to scroll that up for me. I don't need to italicize, but okay.
Can we explain to the people listening at home? So a lot of the reads we'll put up electronically, like on screens and stuff. Renee, our producer, decides that he's just going to highlight it for Bart.
Yeah.
Which made it even worse.
Well, he said to scroll up. I couldn't scroll up anymore, so he said,
Alec, when you looked at the screen, Alec, did it look easier or harder to read?
No, it definitely looked harder. And Bart's right. It looked like you were about to, change the font.
He said, don't italicize it. I wasn't italicizing anything.
Well, if anything, only thing you could have did to say that was change to Courier New.
Wait, why don't we use Courier New? It's a lot easier to read than
I used to put one paragraph.
Would be fitting.
I used to put Courier New. I used to put one paragraph with the title halfway down, and it'd be 3 pages.
And then you highlight it so the teacher can't even read what you wrote.
Way to go, Lacto.
Barton Hahn, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can listen and watch on the ESPN app.
Winding down on a Football Friday on Candy and Carlin on ESPN Radio and Sirius XM Channel 80. Tune in for college football action tomorrow night as Oregon hosts Utah. Presented by Dr. Pepper. Coverage begins at 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Now, you guys know before we get out on every show, we got to get you with the play of the night. Carlin's not here, but I am going to still kick off these festivities to try to get your coins up. Devin, if you would.
Time to earn some cash.
The taste of money, the smell of wealth.
It's Carlin's best play of the night.
The taste of money.
Oh, yeah. We got a tasty little three-leg parlay tonight in the world of NBA. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I like to watch my money work. And so for tonight's parlay, you can actually tune in on ESPN and watch these two games. Now, we're going to dive into Bucks Sixers and Knicks Warriors right after that. So here is the parlay. First leg, Giannis Antetokounmpo over 11.5 boards. Now, Dev, you had a nice, tasty little nugget about why Giannis is going to go over 11.5 boards. What is it?
I sure do. As someone, so these two teams met in October, and as someone who bet the over/under on Giannis rebounds the last time around and over hit, I was very happy. So the over/under for Giannis, obviously we just mentioned, is 11.5. In that game in October, he pulled down 13 rebounds. If my memory serves correct, he had like 8 at halftime, right? So he was way above average. He slowed down a little bit, but Giannis is going to grab those boards. He's averaging 11.8 rebounds on the season. He's pulled at least 12 rebounds down in the 8 of his last 11 games this season. So I think it's trending. All the numbers are trending towards that way. He's going to be matched up against, Joel Embiid. He's going to bring his A game
so
tonight.
He's going to show out. You know what that is. He's going to show out. Joel Embiid is going to bring out the best in Giannis Antetokounmpo. So first leg of our little three-leg NBA parlay, Giannis over 11.5 boards. The second leg, Warriors laying the 7.5 points against the New York Knicks. Now, the Knicks are on a West Coast trip. They've won back-to-back games, but we are talking about the Knicks, so it is only a matter of time before they stub their toe. And the Golden State Warriors are at home. They're a different team at home versus on the road in the early goings this season. The Dubs have been embarrassed about their road performances. This is a little bit of a get-right spot for the Golden State Warriors, so I like them laying the 7.5 points. And speaking of the Warriors, one Steph Curry has been going berserk all season long, even though his teammates haven't been backing him up. He's going up against a Knicks defense that is 29th in three-point makes allowed to opposing offenses. So Steph Curry over 4.5 three-point makes tonight. So that is the three-leg parlay. Giannis over 11.5 boards, the Warriors laying 7.5 against the Knicks, and Steph Curry over 4.5 three-point makes. Get in with your fit in, get in where you fit in, and get your dollars up. Now it's time for 3 and Out.
Sometimes it's the worst. Sometimes it's the best. Either way, we'll get you straight with everything you need to know. This is 3 and Out.
All right. 3 and Out. We got to kick things off with the World Cup. Now, everybody remembers once upon a time when FIFA announced that they were going to have the World Cup in Qatar, that Qatar was considering relaxing their no alcohol policy countrywide as a part of the terms in being able to host a World Cup, because we know few people like to have an adult beverage when they're watching their favorite football teams get down. And it's no different when you take things across the waters and football becomes kicking the ball in the soccer stadiums. So anyway, Qatar announces today, or World Cup organizers announced today, that they have banned the sale of alcohol around stadiums in Qatar after the last-minute showdown talks. And this was announced by FIFA today. Now, here's the complication with all of this. FIFA, one of their biggest sponsors, is Budweiser. So good luck making that work with one of your biggest sponsors when you can't sell their feature product in the stadiums while the World Cup is going on. But that's not it. We also have the concern by people that are planning to attend World Cup events that there is a potential issue for this to be a slippery slope, because Qatar is backpedaling on the alcohol sales. Could they be backpedaling on some of the other tolerance issues that we've known the country to have? So that is one of the concerns that they've said. Following discussions between host countries and authorities and FIFA, a decision was made to focus on the sale of alcohol beverages on the FIFA Fan Festival, other fan destinations, and licensed venues, removing the sales points of beer from Qatar's FIFA World Cup 2022 stadium perimeter. So that's what's going on in Qatar. It'd be interesting to watch. Probably not as entertaining because they're not going to be juiced up. Keeping it pushing in 3 and out. The Jets and the Giants, MetLife Stadium, will replace its current turf with artificial grass in 2023. This per Jordan Renan, who, of course, covers the New York Giants for ESPN. Now, Odell Beckham Jr. responded with 4 heart eyes emojis. Is this something or nothing, Devin Kane?
Listen, as a Giants fan, I want it to be something. Are you kidding me? we need all the help we can get at wide receiver, Canty. Do you think the Giants are the most likely, or the best? It's probably, I don't know if it's the best landing spot, but is it the most likely landing spot?
I will say this: I think it is a potential destination, which is saying a lot. Now, Odell said he'd like to have things wrapped up by the end of the month and know where he's going to go play. But on the short list of teams that his camp released earlier this week, the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, and the San Francisco 49ers seem like the most likely of the 5 or so that they released, because Odell said that the next place he wants to play, he wants to set down roots. And let's be honest, we can't see Odell settling in Buffalo or seeing Odell settling in Green Bay. I don't even know why he want to go to Green Bay. It feels like Aaron Rodgers doesn't even want to be there, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm fingers crossed, Dev, that Odell does have a reunion with Big Blue, because who doesn't like a good reunion? Finally, to round out 3 and out, for the first time in 12 years, USA Basketball is not atop the world's men's rankings. FIBA, the sports governing body, updated its rankings Friday, and Spain moved in front of the top spot, silver ahead of the U.S. For 4-time defending Olympic champion, Americans moved into the top spot after winning the FIBA World Championship in 2010 and had been there since. So new USA Basketball no longer on top. But you know who is going to be on top of things? Spain and Fitz, and they're coming up next on ESPN Radio. This has been Canty and Carlin. Enjoy the weekend.
O'Reilly. Don't miss See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts with great deals on wiper blades, headlight bulbs, and more. Right now, get up to a $20 gift card after a mailing rebate with the purchase of select Sylvania bulbs. Plus, get double O Rewards points with your purchase. Prepare for the weather ahead during See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Everyone can boost their digital confidence with NordVPN. All it takes is one simple click. NordVPN will block online trackers, hide your virtual location, and secure your devices from malware-infected files during downloads. It will also detect malicious websites. So catch the Black Friday deal for a 1 or 2 year plan at NordVPN.com and get 3 months for free. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
The Illinois Fighting Illini head to the Big House in Ann Arbor for a showdown with the third-ranked Michigan Wolverines. Coverage begins tomorrow morning at 11:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ABC. You can also listen on the ESPN app, presented by Dr. Pepper.
True story. A Kentucky-Gonzaga matchup in November is must-watch college basketball.
What a game this should be.
And this early season banger isn't just a battle between Oscar Tshiebwe and Drew Timmons.
You're not going to find 2 better players in any game you watch all season long.
It's between 2 of the best teams in the land. Experience Sonic Blockbuster. Feast Week presented by Lowe's. Number 4 Kentucky, number 2 Gonzaga. Sunday at 7:30 on ESPN.
The Hoop Collective Podcast.
In my view, the Nets have until December 15th to decide whether or not they can go forward in this season or not.
The Hoop Collective Podcast. Listen on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts. ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Jason Fitz.
Zach Wilson's out here talking his talk about what people outside the building don't know, but most of us can at least read numbers. According to Stats and Info, no quarterback in the last 10 years has been worse when facing pressure than Zach Wilson. Now, you stack that up against Bill Belichick, who we know is going to be able to bring pressure that will confuse Wilson, and it's the reason why I don't see any way the Jets are going to beat the Patriots. And frankly, this isn't even about the Patriots being all that good. They've got quarterback issues of their own. I don't believe the Patriots are actually a good football team right now. But the Jets, clearly, despite their wins, if I'm Zach Wilson, I'm not chirping right now. I'm not talking my talk right now. I'm going out and finally letting the way I play prove any of the doubters wrong. If everybody outside the building is really stupid, the best way to show that isn't by coming out and saying something in front of the microphone or the podium. The best way to show that is by what you do on the field, on.
O'Reilly. Count on the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your vehicle and budget. Get maximum cooling system performance for 10 years or 300,000 miles with peak long life universal premixed antifreeze and coolant. Now just $3.99 after mail-in rebate. Limit supply. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Everyone can boost their digital confidence with NordVPN. All it takes is one simple click. NordVPN will block online trackers, hide your virtual location, and secure your devices from malware-infected files during downloads. It will also detect malicious websites. So catch the Black Friday deal for a 1 or 2 year plan at NordVPN.com and get 3 months for free. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
USC taking on UCLA is going to be absolutely everything for the weekend in college football because of what it means for the Pac-12, right? The Pac-12 every week I keep saying, is being given some sliver of hope, some way that they could possibly squeeze into the college football playoff. But to do that at this point, the last hope, this is like the Princess Leia, help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope for the Pac-12 is USC. And it means they're going to have to win out, and they're probably going to have to do it convincingly. But if they're capable of doing that over the course of the next several weeks, it's going to pick up a lot of ranked wins, which could help the Pac-12 somehow squeeze into the playoff. That is why this is the matchup you have to watch on Saturday.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
From your radio to your smart speaker and phone.
Now playing ESPN Radio.
Or watch on ESPN2.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.